Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Nemeko Network with your open source intelligence reporting and our ongoing coverage of the war in the Middle East. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, day 31, 1 month. This war has now been running for 1 full month, and today the United States President said aloud what was once unthinkable. He said, quote, "We're taking the oil." We're going to get right into it here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we have so much news to go over for you guys. For those just tuning in, if you can hit the like button below the stream. Again, it helps get the algorithm's attention. Helps get this reporting out to more people. Also, we have a live chat poll going tonight over in the YouTube live chat. Tonight's live chat poll question is, will the U.S. attempt to take Kharg Island? Let us know what you think in that live chat poll. And somewhere towards the end of tonight's broadcast, we'll end that off and we'll go over the results. Also, guys, let us know in the live chat tonight where you're tuning in from and what fuel prices are looking like near you. Again, we always like to hear where everybody's tuning in from. Let us know what the fuel prices are looking like in your neck of the woods. In general, if you've seen any other price increases as a result of this conflict, let us know in the live chat. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Again, we're going to start tonight's reporting by going through the primary headlines. I'm going to read those off, kind of get you guys caught up on the bottom line up front, so to speak, of what's going on at the moment. And then after that, we'll hop into our briefs here in Nemeko R panel. I'll read you guys off kind of the latest operational details here and latest developments. We'll also be taking a look at some of the maps and stuff that we have geolocated. Of course, later we're going to hop onto our X feed, and I'm going to take you through the last about 12 to 13 hours of open source intelligence data that we have available for you guys here on our X feed. That's x.com/Nemeko Network. Highly recommend you guys go and follow us over there if you get an opportunity to do so. Again, it's a great resource for 24/7 reporting on what's going on, not just in the Middle East, but in the world. We also have our live feeds tonight out of both Beirut. We have a few out of Tel Aviv as well. I'm just going to bump down that volume a little bit here, make it a little bit more manageable for you guys. We have live feeds out of Tel Aviv, Beirut. We also have some live feeds out of some other locations across Israel, as well as some of the Gulf countries as well. As always, we have our live alert map up here for Israel, so if any missile attacks get launched towards Israeli territory, we'll see those there. We'll get alerted with our test our alert sound here. You'll hear that whenever, again, an air raid alert goes out over Israel for both missile attacks, hostile aircraft intrusions, etc. As always, we're keeping an eye on the skies above the Middle East as well. We'll be taking a look over the course of the broadcast this evening at some of the aircraft activity in the air. Right now we have a whole bunch of military aircraft in the air at the moment. In fact, I can just run you through those real quick because we have quite a few on screen. We have two KC-135 Stratotankers down here, as well as a Boeing P-8A Poseidon that's currently in the air, running holding laps here off of the Persian Gulf. And then we have a few more refuelers here, a KC-46A and a KC-135R. All of these here, these are all refuelers here tonight. Again, quite a lot of activity. We also have a Piper Cheyenne 3 that's above the kind of West Bank area at the moment as well. Another KC-135R and a Boeing 747 that we're keeping an eye on over here. Most likely either cargo or possibly could also be another military aircraft. But again, quite a bit of activity in the skies over the region at the moment, and this is just scratching the surface. But again, we'll talk about that more later. We have our ADS-B exchange map up here as well, so we can track aircraft with that. We are keeping tabs on the weather across the region as well. If any inclement weather occurs, we'll be able to track that here with our Doppler radar. We have our NASA firms map. We're tracking oil prices. Brent crude currently sitting at about $104 a barrel. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And of course, we'll be taking a look at some other maps later, like our live universal awareness maps for both Iran and Israel. And then we have some other maps at our disposal, as well as some other tools coming from our R-Panel platform. We're going to start this evening off with going through our primary headlines. As always, many of you guys kind of caught up on the bottom line up front here. Again, if you can hit like on the stream as you're entering there, going to be highly appreciated. It helps us out a lot. Let us know in the live chat where you're tuning in from, what your fuel prices, your food prices, etc. are looking like near you. Again, we'd love to hear from you, and I'll try to read off some of those here as we begin tonight's broadcast. Again, we have a lot of news to go over, so I'm going to get right into it here. Just give me one moment. I'm just getting a few things situated for us here in the background, and then we'll go ahead and start reading you guys off the reports. First up this evening, again, we lead tonight with three words that have kind of changed the geopolitical calculus of this war here. Those words are "take the oil." In a Financial Times interview published Monday, Trump said, quote, "Maybe we take Kharg Island, maybe we don't. We have a lot of options." He said of the island, quote, "I don't think they have any defense. We could take it very easily." He acknowledged what that actually means strategically. He said, quote, "It would mean we had to be there for a while. We would have to be there for a while," is what he said there. And on Truth Social, he escalated further, threatening to blow up and completely obliterate Iran's electric plants, oil wells, Kharg Island, and for the first time, possibly all desalination plants. I'll be talking about that here shortly. I'll show you guys some of those posts he put up on his Truth Social account. That last word, though, desalination, again, is a war crime threshold there that we're getting to. Again, experts told CNN that Gulf countries have only a few weeks of water storage at this moment. Iran struck Kuwait's water and electrical infrastructure overnight, effectively preempting the threat with a demonstration of its own willingness to go there. The April 6th deadline is now the most consequential date in the energy market, history. Again, our timer for that original deadline fell to 0 here and was extended out. I have held off on resetting that timer because it seems like that date keeps being pushed back, and honestly, between me and you guys, I don't think that actual deadline date means too much at the moment. If any attacks were to occur, they could come much sooner than that deadline. They could come much later than that. So, but again, I'll have more on those statements made by Trump later in tonight's broadcast. So stand by for those. Again, that statement about the desalination plants, that's definitely a big uptick in the rhetoric here coming from the U.S. administration that we've seen over the past few weeks. That's definitely worth noting. And I had something else here for you to add to that. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so, I mean, this comes as... again, the kind of ground war posture here is kind of hardening in parallel. U.S. ground forces have arrived in theater. The 82nd Airborne is currently en route. The 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit with the USS Tripoli is in the Indian Ocean at this time. Pentagon is reportedly readying plans for weeks of U.S. ground operations. When asked directly whether Trump is trying to end or intensify this conflict, the White House press secretary gave a 5-word answer. Said, quote, "The president is focused on achieving the objectives of Operation Epic Fury." Again, this is not the language of kind of a wind down here. Iran's parliament speaker made their position equally clear. Iranian forces are, quote, "waiting for the arrival of American troops on the ground and to, quote, set them on fire and punish their regional partners forever." Now, this comes as some talks in Islamabad were slated for today. Again, those don't seem to have been fruitful. I believe there are some other talks slated for Friday now as well. So again, we're kind of holding off to see how that will develop. Brent crude sitting at around 105 a barrel at the moment. All right. There's been a lot of worry in the markets right now of those fuel prices increasing, of those oil prices increasing. So that's kind of, again, the big ticket here. The economic indicators are a big thing to keep tracking, and I imagine for the administration, that's, again, a big driving factor here in a lot of their decision-making and rhetoric going forward here. You know, if they think they could survive, you know, the economic blowback here, so to speak, from these operations, you know, will it escalate further? That seems to be the big question at the moment. Our second major story today, an American journalist has been kidnapped in Baghdad. Iraqi security forces said a female American reporter was abducted in central Baghdad Tuesday evening by unknown individuals. One suspect was arrested after a vehicle chase. The State Department said it has no higher priority than securing her release. The kidnapping comes as Baghdad's green zone has now been attacked multiple times. The U.S. diplomatic staff have been told to leave Iraq, and Iran-aligned militias are increasingly operating with impunity inside Iraqi territory. This is, again, the war coming for American civilians here. Again, as we see that American journalist kidnapped in Baghdad. Again, a pretty major development there. Third, oil. Again, to talk more about oil here. Brent crude hit $116 a barrel Monday. That is up more than 50% since February 28th, again surpassing the previous record set during Saddam Hussein's 1990 invasion of Kuwait. All right, so this is, again, a new point we have reached here in the oil market for sure. Again, it did come down later in the day, and I'll talk about that more later. Again, it has settled back down to a low of around 103. It's back up at 105 at the moment. When I came on the air, it was about 103, 104. It's now back up at 105. Again, I'll talk about that more later. The average American is now paying $4 a gallon at the pump, the highest since 2022. The UK Prime Minister held emergency talks with BP and Shell today, and Australia cut fuel taxes for 4 months. Victoria is running free public transport, and the IEA says this is the worst energy crisis in recorded human history, worse than the two 1970s oil shocks combined. The April 6th deadline Trump set for Iran is not just a military flashpoint here. Again, it's a market flashpoint. It's an economic flashpoint. If Trump strikes Iranian energy infrastructure that day, analysts say we could see oil prices that dwarf even what we've seen so far. There's a lot of fears of $150 barrels of oil and above, again, coming our way here. So again, guys, that's one of the reasons why when we come on the air and stuff, you know, I often ask to let us know where you're tuning in from and let us know what your fuel prices are looking like in the live chat. Let us know, and again, I'll read off some of those prices there here in a little bit. Beyond those three leads, here's what's happened across the theater in the past 48 hours. Haifa's oil refinery was hit twice. That's up in Israel, northern Israel there. Iran struck it with cluster munitions, and it is one of only 2 refineries in all of Israel. Again, a teenager was injured. Hezbollah claimed it targeted Haifa's naval base simultaneously. Iran is mirroring exactly what Israel has done to Iran's energy infrastructure, and the Israeli home front is now feeling it directly. Meanwhile, Spain has closed its airspace and military bases to all U.S. aircraft involved in the Iran operations, calling the war, quote, profoundly illegal. Italy separately blocked U.S. military transport from landing in Sicily. France has blocked Israeli munitions aircraft from its airspace. And 3 NATO allies have now operationally blocked U.S. and Israeli military movements. The Atlantic Alliance is fracturing in real time here, and again, I'll have more to talk about on that point later. Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces, the state-linked Iranian-backed militias, were caught on verified footage entering Iran at the Khorramshahr border. Dozens of white Toyota trucks flying in Iraqi and Iranian and PMF flags driving into southwestern Iran was captured today. Again, this is the first confirmed deployment of Iraqi militia forces into Iran in this war. The implications are pretty significant here. It means Iran is supplementing its battered ground forces with militia reinforcements from Iraq, the same forces that have been attacking U.S. bases across the region. And 3 Indonesian UN peacemakers were killed in southern Lebanon over the past 24 hours. The first confirmed killing of UN peacekeeping personnel in this conflict so far. The UN Security Council is now under intense pressure to respond. To add to that, on the diplomatic front here, Trump claimed Iran has agreed to, quote, most of the 15 points in the U.S. proposal that Iran gave the U.S. Oil as a present proving seriousness. And that 20 oil tankers are now being allowed through the Strait of Hormuz. Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia held a 4-way foreign ministers meeting in Islamabad on Sunday. Pakistan's foreign minister confirmed talks between the U.S. and Iran are coming in, quote, the coming days. But Iran simultaneously announced it is developing a permanent toll system for the Strait of Hormuz. A real dominated fees, Iranian sovereignty, formalized here. U.S. and Israel permanently, excluded, so to speak. That is not, kind of a side preparing to hand over the strait. That is a side preparing to own it here. So again, that's kind of a key thing to keep an eye on, when it comes to these negotiations over the next week or two here. Again, that's been your primary headline open source intelligence brief here. We're not going to get into kind of the more in-depth reporting. But again, the bottom line up front here, guys, day 31, 1 month in here. Again, Trump wants to take, the oil. Ground forces are landing in the region. An American journalist is missing in Baghdad. Gas, $4 a gallon here in the United States, U.S. average. Oil is $116. 3 UN peacekeepers are dead in Lebanon. Iran is building a permanent toll booth at the world's most important waterway. And, of course, in 6 days, April 6th, the clock runs out. Stay locked in here, guys, because, again, we have a lot more to go over this evening. Raymond, good to see you tuning in this evening. Good to see you. Gaffords, good to see you. Urkel, good to see you. Raymond said gas, $3.79 to $4.13 where he's tuning in from. Miss Tiger Eye, good to see you. Harlan Martin, good to see you. All gas, no brakes, 5:30. Good to see you. Tom DeRippa, good to see you. Good to see you. Gafford said gas about $3.89 15 minutes ago in Missouri, so up $1.40 since this began. Bubba, good to see you. Says Arizona was $2.98 before the war, now $4.55. All gas, no brakes says $6 here in Northern California. Shiloh, good to see you. Good to see you. Gallant Tech Magi, good to see you. Too Tall Tom, good to see you. Good to see you as always. Harlan Martin said Tuscola, Texas, it was $3.99 yesterday. Nolan, good to see you. Tilly, good to see you tuning in. Good to see you tuning in. Cindy Duhan, good to see you. Yorkshire, good to see you. Mark, good to see you. Mr. Toybox, good to see you. Curtis West, good to see you. Suicide Jockey, hello, hello. Ned's. Pax Americana, good to see you. BPI, good to see you. To everybody tuning in tonight, thank you guys so much for stopping by here this evening. Again, we're kind of just getting started into going into our primary reporting here. Just read off the headlines a few moments ago. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, if you can hit the like button below the stream, again, it helps a lot. Helps a lot. Also, make sure to vote in the live chat poll, guys. Again, we have that live chat poll going this evening. Again, tonight's question is, will the U.S. attempt to take Kharg Island? So first, we're going to get right into our briefings here. I'm going to kind of go over some of the more in-depth details on what's going on across the region there in the Middle East. Aqua, the only Angie, good to see you. Too Easy, good to see you over there on Twitch. To everybody tuning in tonight on Twitch, X, and Rumble. Again, for those who don't know, we are now quadcasting to 4 different platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and X. Good to see everybody that's tuning in on those other platforms tonight. Big shout out to everybody tuning in on Twitch as well. As always, love to see you guys stopping by over there. But again, I'm going to get into, again, kind of our briefs here. And we're going to start with that. And then, of course, we'll work our way to some of the other in-depth reporting we have in our X feed and across some of the other tools. Before we start, though, as always, this is a community effort, guys. So if you see something that I haven't reported on yet, you see a new report coming out, you see some breaking news that I haven't touched on yet, drop it in the live chat or in one of the channels over on the Discord server, such as the Situation Room, which is what that channel is meant for. If your thing is, tracking aircraft on platforms like ADS-B or Flight Radar 24, and you see an aircraft in the air that we should take a look at, drop it in the live chat, drop it in the aircraft channel over in the Discord. If you guys are trying to send something over to me and I don't see it right away, if it's in the Discord, feel free to at mention me over there, and then I can get a notification for it and I can take a look at that. Same thing for marine traffic, weather, radios, anything. Any type of open source intelligence data. If you guys see something that we should be taking a look at, send it over my way. Drop in the live chat or drop it in one of the channels on the Discord server, and I will make sure to take a look at whatever you guys are sending our way. Again, this is a community effort here. Appy Moo, good to see you. Good to see you tuning in. I feel like it's been a couple days since I've seen you. Hope you're doing all right over there. Hope you're staying well. So first up here, again, in tonight's situation brief. Actually, hold on here. Give me 1 second here. I believe this is actually an older brief. Give me one moment here. Let me make sure I have the latest one up for you guys. Give me 1 second here. All right, while I get that brief ready, I know it's around. I got it around here somewhere. I think I've. Okay, all right. Actually, I have it here. All right, while we get that that other brief, again, our latest brief up on screen here for you guys, I'm going to go through some of the geolocated stuff we have in our panel map here first. We're on day 32 of the war. Again, IRGC attacks so far, number 87. That's how many waves of missile attacks and drone attacks they have launched so far. We're currently at 87 waves of attacks so far since the war began. Targets struck by the U.S. and Israel, currently sitting at around 13,000 plus between the two countries. U.S. gas price per barrel, $4 a gallon. Again, Brent crude has risen 50% since the start of the war. Again, that deadline for the Strait being opened is April 6th. Again, as I said earlier, I kind of don't think that date really has much merit anymore, as I believe any attacks that are going to happen by the U.S. will most likely come before that April 6th deadline, or possibly even after that April 6th deadline. Again, they've pushed back that deadline, I think this is the third time now. So, in Iran, 4,700 plus security forces, by our latest estimates, have been killed in Iran. That's on Iranian territory. Again, 4,700 plus Iranian security forces. Diplomatic status right now, again, we're getting mixed signals from the U.S. administration and from the Iranians. Again, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride when it comes to the diplomatic front here. First up here, again, NATO intercepts the fourth Iranian missile targeting Turkey. NATO forces intercept a missile fired from Iran towards Turkey, the fourth such intercept since the start of the war. Again, NATO is now in an active defense posture against Iranian missile launches across the region. Switching down here to Lebanon, 1,247 killed, 3 Indonesian UN peacekeepers are dead. Again, in Lebanon, by Israeli strikes since March 2nd, including 124 children. 3 Indonesian UN peacekeepers killed since the weekend. Lebanese soldiers killed and 5 wounded in direct Israeli strike on an army checkpoint. 4 hospitals and 50-plus primary healthcare centers are closed at the moment in that region there in Lebanon. Israel is to propose a U.S. military base on Iranian soil. Israel is, for the first time, planning to propose to the Trump administration the development of U.S. military bases on Iranian soil. This signals long-term post-war occupation planning and, of course, would mark a fundamental shift in the U.S. Middle East military posture if adopted. Again, at the moment, all of that is just in planning phases. Switching over here to Iraq, again, that U.S. journalist has been kidnapped in Baghdad. Again, the kidnapping comes as U.S. State Department warns Americans in Saudi Arabia to avoid hotels, U.S. businesses, and educational institutions due to the active threat environment in that region. Next up, switching down here to Riyadh. Saudi Arabia intercepts 8 ballistic missiles at Riyadh. 8 ballistic missiles targeting Riyadh and the energy-rich eastern province, part of Iran's 87th wave of regional attacks. The State Department warns Americans in Saudi Arabia to avoid hotels, U.S. businesses, and educational institutions due to active threat environment there. Switching up here to Kharg Island. Again, Trump saying, quote, maybe we take Kharg Island, maybe we don't. We have a lot of options, he said, end quote. He also added, quote, it would also mean we had to be there for a while. U.S. Tripoli, again, confirmed in the Indian Ocean by CENTCOM. Kharg processes 90% of Iran's oil exports, for those that don't know. Again, U.S. already struck 90 military targets on the island since March 13th. The Bashir nuclear plant struck multiple times. The Russian staff remain at that plant at this time. Russia's Rosatom evacuated 163 staff with more departures planned, but there are still Russian staff there at the moment. Approximately 300 Russian nuclear specialists remain operating the plant at minimum capacity. The Russian government says it's monitoring the situation closely. Switching down here to Dubai. Iranian drone strikes a Kuwaiti oil tanker at the Dubai port. Again, Iran launched what Kuwait described as, quote, a direct and criminal attack on the Kuwaiti oil tanker Al Salmi, stationed at the Dubai port. The Institute for the Study of War reports Iranian drone struck the tanker northwest of Dubai on March 30th. Fire has since been extinguished per the UK MTO report, and the crew is safe. Switching over really quick, actually, to our... Where is that at here? One second. It looks like we lost... Looks like we may have lost our Beirut feed right as I saw some smoke rising there from that location. Yeah, looks like that feed has gone down, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if it comes back up. But I was just seeing some smoke rising, and the camera was panning to what seemed to be, again, kind of an explosion or smoke rising from that skyline there in Beirut, and then it went dark. So we will keep an eye on that. We'll return to that here shortly. Give me a second here. We're going to switch out to that one. Again, we'll wait. We'll wait and see if that feed comes back up. But we lost that Beirut feed for the moment, unfortunately. Switching up here to the Strait of Hormuz. Again, Iran Parliament approves official tolls on Hormuz vessels. A Parliamentary Commission approved official tolls on vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. This formalizes what the IRGC has been doing at Kharg Island, extracting fees from ships. Iran launched its 87th wave of attacks via the Navy, via the Iran Navy, proving IRGC naval forces are not obliterated despite U.S. claims. Also, a EA-37B Compass Call electronic warfare aircraft is now deploying to the region. The U.S. is deploying that EA-37B Compass Call electronic warfare aircraft to the Middle East, a brand new, highly advanced platform. The Compass Call's primary role is degrading, denying, and disrupting adversary communications at the theater level. First combat deployment of this system so far, and I'm sure I'll have some more on that later this evening when we hop into our X feed and show you guys the reporting on that. Switching up here to Iran. The Institute of the Study of War says Iran missile/drone production is being degraded. From the ISW CTP analysis, combined force targeting defense industrial sites in Iran has likely degraded Iran's ability to produce missiles and drones. Iran is facing challenges coordinating large-scale missile attacks on Israel. However, IRGC naval forces remain operational despite U.S. claims of obliteration. Switch over to that feed there for Tel Aviv. Switching up here to Tehran, we have 4 separate reports, actually. Let's start with this one here. Iran's state Airbus A340 destroyed at the Mirabad airport there. Wreckage of Iran's state Airbus A340 EP IGA at Mirabad airport after it was destroyed by an Israeli airstrike. The aircraft was the primary transport plane for senior Iranian officials. Mirabad airport is adjacent to central Tehran. And again, I'll have some images and more reports to show you guys from that later tonight. Again, from the Iranian president, he told European Council President Costa that Iran is, quote, ready to stop fighting if the required conditions are met. Specifically, non-recurrence guarantees that the U.S. will not attack again in the future. Again, stocks briefly soared after that report came out, and I believe that is the main driving factor behind this dip that we saw here earlier today in oil prices. Again, Iran's foreign minister contradicted the signal, rejecting ceasefire and demanding complete end to the war, compensation for damages, and no attack guarantees. The Israeli Air Force releases footage of 230-plus strikes on Tehran in 24 hours. The Israeli Air Force released footage showing strikes on IRGC and regime infrastructure in Tehran. Per the release, the Israeli Air Force has conducted more than 230 strikes on Iranian targets in the past 24 hours. Trump told the FT that combined force has struck 13,000-plus targets in Iran since 28 February. And finally, here on our map this evening, IRGC confirms the death of Admiral Tangsiri, who is a naval commander there. The IRGC confirmed the killing of Admiral Alireza Tangsiri, IRGC naval commander, in an Israeli airstrike that occurred there, I believe, yesterday. Tangsiri commanded Iran's IRGC naval forces responsible for Hormuz operations, mine-laying, and attacks on Gulf shipping. His death is a major decapitation strike on IRGC naval command. And then we have our brief up here. Give me 1 second here. We're going to start reading through our latest brief here. And we have our timer back up and operational for you guys this evening. Give me 1 second here. RXX 1230, good to see you, good to see you. Seal and Black said, sounded like an ambulance. Yeah, I also heard the ambulance on, again, that was on that Beirut feed right before it went down. Yeah, still waiting to see if that comes back up. I could check actually really quick, see if it goes back up. What's interesting is both their Tel Aviv feed and their Beirut feed went down simultaneously. So it might just be a broadcasting issue, might be something else. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, we still have some other feeds coming out of the area. Give me 1 moment here. Actually, I'll see if I can get our secondaries pulled up here. Give me just 1 moment here, guys. 1 moment. All right, I got that up and operational, and then we'll keep an eye out for that other feed to come back up. CL Black says, could this be why Brent dropped? Yes. I mean, so if you're referring to those statements by the Iranian president, I believe that is directly related to that drop in oil price from earlier today. Again, it is right back on the climb again. So Iranian president, he made those statements. Iran's foreign minister came out and basically said the opposite, and then immediately sent oil on the incline again. Again, we're sitting at around 105.49. We'll keep tracking it over the course of this evening as we give you these reports, and we'll keep tabs on it. All right, so next up here, again, we have our brief for this evening. I'm gonna run you guys through this here. Again, 5 days, 22 hours, 21 minutes until this April 6th deadline. I went ahead and just reset the counter anyway for good measure here. But again, Trump's timeline, we're looking at 2 to 3 weeks. All right. Hegseth in those statements today, again, basically said regime change. I'll talk about that more here soon. Again, one of the first times they're actually saying, full regime change here, blatantly and publicly. Total killed so far in this conflict, 3,000 plus. Total death toll across the board. Day 32 delivered an extraordinary confluence of military escalation and the clearest diplomatic signals yet that both sides may be seeking an exit here. Trump declared from the Oval Office that the United States will be, quote, leaving Iran very soon, within 2 weeks, maybe 3. His most concrete end-of-war timeline to date. He also said Iran doesn't need to sign a deal for the U.S. to end military operations, and that, quote, regime change has occurred. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth simultaneously held the first Pentagon press briefing in nearly 2 weeks, declaring, quote, regime change has occurred, and calling the next days, quote, decisive. He refused to rule out ground forces, saying the U.S. aims to be unpredictable, while also stating, in the meantime, we will negotiate with bombs, he said, end quote. The Wall Street Journal report said Trump told White House staff he'd be open to ending the war without even reopening the Strait of Hormuz, a significant shift from earlier rhetoric. Again, on the military front, U.S. strikes hit Isfahan with a massive fireball visible across the city. I'll have that video to show you guys here later this evening. NASA fire tracking satellites confirmed the blast site near Mount Safa, consistent with a nuclear technology site where satellite imagery had earlier shown a truckload of 60% enriched uranium being moved before the war. Iran's 87th wave of attacks was launched by the IRGC Navy, a show of force after Trump claimed Iran's navy was, quote, annihilated. A fully loaded Kuwaiti oil tanker, the Al-Sami, was struck by an Iranian drone in Dubai's port waters there, igniting a fire which was later extinguished. No oil spill has been reported at this time. Iran also hit Petah Tikva in Israel, setting cars ablaze and sparking a workshop fire. Saudi Arabia intercepted 8 ballistic missiles targeting Riyadh and the eastern province. The IDF struck the Imam Hussein University in Tehran and an IRGC-run institution used for advanced weapons research. The most consequential diplomatic signal came from the Iranian president today, again, who told European Council President Costa that Iran is, quote, ready to stop the fighting if required conditions are met. Again, this is the direct reason why that oil price sunk down there. Then, of course, to reiterate here, the Iranian foreign minister basically came out and gave some conflicting statements, and I believe that's why we're back on the incline here at the moment. He also said, again, especially guarantees to prevent a reoccurrence of aggression. So that they're ready to stop fighting if the U.S., essentially promises not to attack in the future. The remarks sent stocks surging. Separately, Pakistan and China jointly released a 5-point peace plan, with the White House reportedly not opposing it. Pakistan's foreign minister flew to Beijing to meet Chinese foreign minister The Iran parliament formally approved a Hormuz toll system. Simultaneously, U.S. gas hit $4 a gallon as a national average here, high since 2022, and Los Angeles hit $5.99 per gallon. More than 3,000 people have been killed across the region since 28 February, with Iran International reporting 4,700 plus Iranian security forces are dead at this time. For active theaters here, here's the situational status. For Iran, again, in Isfahan, U.S. strike creates massive fireball near Mount Safa. NASA satellites confirm. Again, we can show you that on the firm's satellite imagery later this evening. Consistent with Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center, where enriched uranium was stored pre-war. Tehran, IDF strikes the Imam Hussein University. Again, strikes reported in Karaj, Shiraz, Qom, and Tabriz. Again, casualties so far, we're sitting around 1,900 plus Iranian Red Crescent, 4,700 plus security forces killed so far in the conflict. In Israel, Petah Tikva, Iranian missile set cars ablaze. Ignites workshop fire. Rescue teams are responding. The Haifa refinery, again, there was a blaze at Israel's oil refinery's facility from intercepted missile debris up there in Haifa. In northern Israel, Hezbollah rockets are almost a daily occurrence here, and continuous sirens can be heard, again, throughout the day and night. Total killed in Israel so far, 19 as of our latest assessment. 10 IDF soldiers killed in Lebanon so far. Speaking of Lebanon, again, those 3 UN peacekeepers killed in 24 hours in southern Lebanon. 2 Indonesian peacekeepers killed in a roadside explosion. And Hezbollah was blamed for those deaths. The IDF is boasting, quote, indefinite stay in southern Lebanon with the security zone up to the Litani River. So far in Lebanon, 1,247 killed. In Lebanon, 1 in 5 Lebanese have been displaced. Down in the Gulf, again, the Kuwaiti VLCC Al-Sami tanker was struck by Iranian drone in the Dubai port waters. While fully loaded, fire sparked, then extinguished. No oil spill. Kuwaitis confirm the Iranian attack. In Saudi Arabia, 8 ballistic missiles were intercepted targeting Riyadh and the eastern province. In Bahrain, sirens sounded. Residents directed to take shelter there. And then down in the Strait of Hormuz, again, the Iran parliament formally approves a toll system for the Hormuz passage there. At least 2 ships have reportedly paid $2 million each per Lloyd's List there. 23 plus commercial vessels hit since the war began, and 138 vessels a day pre-war are now near a standstill. 3 Chinese vessels navigated through Tuesday, per the Chinese foreign minister. The RGC 87th wave was launched by the RGC Navy, proving naval capability is still semi-intact at this time. Again, on the diplomatic front here, your diplomatic brief here. Pakistani plus China released that joint 5-point peace plan. The White House reportedly not opposing that plan. Iran's president said, quote, we're ready to stop fighting if guarantees of no future attacks can come. Trump talks directly with the Iranian parliament speaker. Pakistani's foreign minister in Beijing with China's foreign minister says Russia's Putin backs a peaceful settlement of the conflict at the moment. So that is, again, kind of your brief there. We have some other ones as well, but I'm going to go straight into the X feed here, and we'll get you guys those reports straight from the source here. Again, if you're just joining in, we're just hopping into our kind of 12 to now 14-hour rewind here on our X feed. Going to get you guys caught up on all the latest open source intelligence posts here. If you're just tuning in, again, hit the like button below the stream. Again, it helps a lot. And make sure you vote in our live chat poll over in the YouTube live chat this evening. Give me one moment here, guys, while I just take a look at a few things that were sent over my way. Again, for anybody posting stuff in the Situation Room, I will bring that stuff on screen here over the course of our X feed. I'll occasionally bring a post or two up here from you guys. Actually, I'll bring this one up first, and I'm sure this is already in our feed, but Wes posted this over in the Discord server. U.S. President Donald Trump will give an address to the nation to provide an important update on Iran at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. And I hope to be live then for you guys, and we'll probably broadcast this address. We'll probably have like a special, kind of like a special report tomorrow, and we'll probably broadcast this address for you guys tomorrow here on the network, and I'll probably give a brief tomorrow as well simultaneously. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post about it in the Discord server or over on the YouTube channel. Again, big shout out to Wes for posting this over in the Situation Room there. Again, via open source intel. I'm sure this is already in our feed, but again, we're starting at the 14-hour mark here, so because I want to get everybody caught up on what's going on. And we'll get right into that here in just a moment, guys. Again, I'm just taking a look at some of the stuff that was sent over my way. Give me one moment. Half Mad, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, first up here, 14 hours ago, U.S. Central Command Commander Admiral Brad Cooper just wrapped up a trip to the Middle East. During the trip, he met with Lieutenant General Yal Zamir of the Israeli Defense Forces to discuss the ongoing Operation Epic Fury. Also 14 hours ago, in a new post this morning on his Truth Social, Trump made some statements here. He said, quote, all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. He says, number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage to go to the Strait and just, quote, take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The U.S. won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. He says the hard part is done. Go get your own oil. President Donald J. Trump. Again, a pretty interesting statement there. There's been quite a few pretty interesting statements here by Donald Trump over the past day or two here. Again, in another post here, he says, quote, the country of France wouldn't let planes headed to Israel loaded up with military supplies fly over French territory. France has been very unhelpful with respect to the, quote, butcher of Iran, who has been successfully eliminated. It says here, the U.S. will remember. Again, another statement there by the president today. U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has opened this morning's press conference by disclosing that he has just returned from spending some time with U.S. troops supporting Operation Epic Fury in the U.S. CENTCOM area of responsibility. And there's a cross post there for that statement there by Trump. U.S. CENTCOM here gave a little bit of an update here. And they've issued an update following his trip to the region to meet with troops supporting Operation Epic Fury and to meet with the IDF to discuss the operation there. Let's take a listen to what he had to say here in this operational update, again, coming directly from U.S. Central Command.
Hi, I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, Commander of U.S. Central Command, here in the Middle East with our 50,000 service members to provide my 6th update on Operation Epic Fury. Now in our 5th week of the campaign, it is my operational assessment that we are making undeniable progress in eliminating Iran's ability to project power in meaningful ways outside its borders. We don't see their Navy sailing, we don't see their aircraft flying, and their air defense and missile defense systems have largely been destroyed. Despite our clear dominance, our forces remain vigilant. It's long been my belief that every success we have begins and ends with our people, and our warfighters deployed forward are doing outstanding work. During this trip, I've had the privilege to recognize and award our troops for their courage, resilience, and tenacity as they continue to go above and beyond.
Yeah. It's pretty fun work.
Great job. Great job. You enjoy it, huh?
Thank you, sir.
How long have you been in?
12 years, sir.
Fantastic. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
I'm from Ohio.
Okay, what part?
Toledo, sir.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks for what you're doing. Much appreciated.
Yes, sir.
What's your job?
I'm a wizard for the Strike Eagle.
Okay, and how many missions have you flown?
Probably a couple dozen at this point.
And how long have you personally been out here?
Been out here only since February, sir.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks for keep up the great work. Thanks so much. In the meantime, I'm wishing you all the best. I think of you every day and with a lot of pride. So thanks for what you're doing. I really appreciate it and couldn't be prouder. I met with our service members who are operating the most sophisticated and largest active air defense umbrella in the world, right here in the Middle East, to defend against Iran's indiscriminate missile and drone attacks. Since day one, our warfighters have also shown unmatched reach and lethality in systematically dismantling Iran's drone, missile, and naval capabilities by delivering a massive amount of firepower. Every branch of the military is achieving unprecedented success. Our naval forces have launched waves upon waves of cruise missiles and fighter aircraft from the sea. U.S. Air Forces have extended our reach with refueling tankers while executing a high volume of airstrikes into Iran with fighters and bombers. Our soldiers and Marines have delivered long-range strikes from land and mounted a robust air defense to not only protect Americans but our partners as well. And our Space Force has given us the ultimate high ground, delivering space superiority, which has been a critical enabler to this fight. After witnessing the absolute professionalism, discipline, and dedication of our men and women in uniform supporting Operation Epic Fury, I just could not be prouder. And I know that their families, friends, and loved ones back home share this pride. So to all the moms, dads, husbands, wives, friends, and loved ones back home, thank you for everything that you're doing to support our outstanding warriors. There is no adversary too determined, no mission too difficult, and no task too great for our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardian, and Coast Guardsmen that make up the most powerful military the world has ever seen. To all our warfighters, keep up the great work and Godspeed. Thanks so much.
So there you have it in that update there from Admiral Brad Cooper, coming straight from U.S. Central Command there. Again, we had a post here. Again, this comes about 16 hours ago from Defense Geek. Again, Bomber Mission 47. Yesterday, alongside two bomber mission from RAF Fairford, a pair of B-2A Spear bombers flew to Iran for Operation Strikes in Operation Epic Fury here. You can see kind of the path they took from Whitman Air Force Base there to Iran and back. 11 hours ago, the Israeli Air Force released footage showing a strike on IRGC and regime infrastructure in Tehran. Again, Iran in the past day, per the release of the Israeli Air Force, again, has conducted 230 strikes on Iranian regime targets in the past 24 hours. And you can see in this video here some of that footage that they released there. Again, targeting some of these sites here. Andy Haynes, good to see you tuning in, man. Thank you for stopping by this evening. 11 hours ago, China and Pakistan call for an Iran ceasefire in a new joint statement. Statement also calls for immediate negotiations and reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Again, this is that full statement there from China and Pakistan. If you guys want to go read that, it's over on the X feed. Another statement here from President Donald Trump earlier today. He said, Melania and I are pleased to announce that their Majesties, the King and Queen of the United Kingdom, will visit the United States for a historic state visit from April 27th to 30th, which will include a beautiful banquet dinner at the White House on the evening of April 28th. He said the momentous occasion will be even more special this year as we commemorate the 250th anniversary of our great country. The ISW put out some, again, their kind of daily brief here on some of the targets that have been hit in and around the region there in the Middle East. Highly recommend you guys go check this out if you want some kind of in-depth statistics on, again, some of the strikes that have occurred there. 10 hours ago, Poland will not relocate its Patriot air defense system to the Middle East, its defense minister said Tuesday, after reports that the U.S. had informally requested a transfer. Again, they're not looking to move those Patriot systems at this time. Again, the remarks follow a report from Polish Daily earlier Tuesday alleging U.S. officials had asked Warsaw to shift one of its Patriot batteries to the Middle East as Iran's retaliatory drone strikes on U.S. Gulf allies put a growing strain on air defense stockpiles. However, a senior defense official from a NATO country who spoke on a condition of anonymity said that Poland had not been singled out by singled out. Sorry, words are hard. By Washington. The U.S. has approached all of its NATO allies with two questions on air defense. It is looking for batteries for Ukraine and also for the Middle East, but not the Gulf to protect NATO installations, the official said. Quote, there was no special pressure on Poland, they said. Quote, this was a question that was sent to all allies. Again, some footage here coming from CENTCOM. The Nimitz U.S. Navy aircraft carrier USS George H.W. Bush CVN 77 has departed Naval Station Norfolk on a scheduled deployment. The ship and its strike group are likely en route to relieve the USS Gerald R. Ford. And you can see some footage here of that ship getting ready to take off. Indonesia on Tuesday announced fuel rations and mandated work from home for civil servants as it seeks to conserve energy stocks amid global price hikes due to the Middle East war. Quote, to ensure fuel distribution, the government will regulate purchases with a reasonable limit of 50 liters per vehicle per day for private consumers. Again, Indonesia, one of the other countries now having to ration fuel. Again, more of that footage of the George H.W. Bush departing Norfolk for the Middle East. Again, here. Again, that wire ping that sent stocks soaring and oil falling was only a snippet of a larger conversation between the EU president and the president of Iran. Again, I mentioned that earlier, that statement from the Iranian president is what contributed to those oil prices falling earlier today. But again, now they are still climbing at this very moment that I'm bringing you guys this report. 8 hours ago, the Iraqi Ministry of Interior has announced that American journalist Shelley Kittleson was kidnapped today in Baghdad. 7 hours ago, Iran's foreign minister rejects calls for a ceasefire, instead insisting for a complete end of the war, with guarantees that attacks will not be repeated and compensation for damages will be had. And again, guys, so the Iranian president made that statement right here, right? Oil falls, right? Iranian foreign minister makes that statement, oil rises. Again, the Iranians, they want to keep this pressure up here on the oil markets at the moment because, again, that works in their favor. So that's why, I mean, I think they're using a lot of this rhetoric here. Again, their goal is to keep pressure on these oil prices and keep them on the way up. 7 hours ago, a Russian Air Force-affiliated mill blogger, fighter bomber, announces the loss of a Russian Su-34. That was 7 hours ago. 6 hours ago, the State Department warns of threats against locations where American citizens gather in Saudi Arabia. Americans have been advised to avoid hotels, U.S. businesses, and U.S. educational institutions as they may become targets. Again, here was that full security alert from the travel gov department there. 5 hours ago, the wreckage of Iran's state Airbus 8340 at Mirabad Airport after it was destroyed by an Israeli airstrike. You can see this image here on screen of the destruction there of that aircraft. Again, this is the post from the 16th. Again, Israeli Air Force jets bombed and destroyed that Iranian government state Airbus A340 at Mirabad International Airport. Again, this is the post from the 16th, and then this is the picture we got out today. 3 hours ago, again, that statement from Trump saying, quote, we'll be leaving very soon. What happens in Hormuz will have nothing to do with. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
We'll be leaving very soon, and if France or some other country wants to get oil or gas, They'll go up through the strait and Hormuz Strait. They'll go right up there and they'll be able to fend for themselves. I think it'll be very safe, actually, but we have nothing to do with that. What happens in the strait, we're not going to have anything to do with, because these countries, China will go up and they'll fuel up their beautiful ships and they'll leave and they'll take care of themselves. There's no reason for us to do it. We hit them hard. We'll be.
Another statement here by President Trump. Let's give it a listen.
Gone or done with the war?
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Not 3 weeks. If it is
We'll
3
leave,
weeks,
because
then it would
there's
be
no
task
reason for us to
force,
do this.
definitely.
Look, problem with the strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, oh, it's unsafe. It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country, or they can drop it. Or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship, or maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles. That's not for us. That'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all clear.
Gone or done with.
Again, 3 hours ago, Trump said the U.S. may not strike a peace deal before it leaves. If Iran tries to develop a nuclear weapon, he says, a future president like me would bomb Iran again. Again, are they aiming for an off-ramp here? Again, that's the big question. 3 hours ago, reported footage of an Iranian ballistic missile just missing a bunker housing American troops in the Gulf region. Let's take a look at this footage we got in 3 hours ago.
Oh, there's some. Oh, get.
Are y'all good? Everybody's good? Everybody over here is good? Yeah. Good. I saw that one come in. You guys all right? Everybody okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Oh, there's some. Oh, get.
Are y'all good? Everybody's good? Everybody over here is good? Yeah.
This is one of the first videos we have, by the way, of a strike landing near U.S. forces, filmed from the perspective of those U.S. forces. This clip here is very significant.
Oh, there's some.
Also, I could say that they got pretty lucky. That strike came pretty close. Again, this clip, you could see him, poking his phone camera out of the bunker here. And it goes to show just how quickly, you see that the glowing of that missile inbound, and it almost looks like, like it's really hard to tell if that's going to hit you. And then all of a sudden, with just a drop of the hat, it impacts.
Oh, there's some. Oh, get.
Are y'all good? Everybody's good? Everybody over here is good? Yeah. Good. I saw that one come in. You guys all right? Everybody okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Oh, there's some. Oh, get.
Are y'all good? Everybody's good? Everybody over here is good? Yeah. Good. I saw that one come in. You guys all right? Everybody okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, this is a pretty insane clip that we got, again, about 3 hours ago. 1 hour ago, Australia's Prime Minister says, quote, we will address the nation at 7 p.m. tonight about the Hormuz fuel crisis. Australia is getting hit very, very hard right now with this fuel shortage. Actually, if you're in the live chat tuning in from Australia or New Zealand, let me know, guys. Let me know if you're tuning in from Australia or New Zealand. Let me know how the situation is down in your neck of the woods, what fuel's looking like near you, if you guys are experiencing any type of rationing in your local area or fuel shortages in your local area. I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, Australia's Prime Minister will address the nation tonight at 7 p.m. So that was just a short while ago. 1 hour ago, a tanker has been hit in the Persian Gulf off the coast of Qatar from a UK MTO report here. The UK MTO has received a report of an incident 17 nautical miles north of Doha, Qatar. The company's security officer reported the tanker has been hit by an unknown projectile on the port side, causing damage to the hull above the waterline. The crew are reported safe. There's no environmental impact at this time. Authorities are investigating. Typical Kiwi. who I believe is tuning in from New Zealand, says no rationing, but diesel up to $3.66 per liter. Wow. TJX657 says, I'm from Australia. Hope you guys are doing okay down there. Good to see you tuning in. Good to see you tuning in. Hold on here. Our feed updated here. Let me bring it back down here. Again, U.S. Central Command has released a video showing underground targets being struck by precision munitions. The magnitude of the explosions is similar to the video posted by President Donald J. Trump of strikes on Isfahan, Iran. Let's take a look at this clip here. Again, I have that clip of those strikes in Isfahan that was posted by Trump. I'll show you guys that here in a little while. Again, this is that same UK MTO report. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations Center has issued an advisory about suspicious activity 17 nautical miles north of Doha, Qatar, after an unknown projectile impacted a commercial vessel above the waterline, causing damage. So, it says here, vessels are advised to transit with caution and report any suspicious activity. Again, they're reporting some suspicious activity near that area. Again, in the Persian Gulf there. TJX657, who's tuning in from Australia, says, it's fucking cooked, end quote. He says it's nearly double what it was before the war. The UAE, 34 minutes ago, is preparing to help the U.S. and other allies open the Strait of Hormuz by force, an Arab official tells the Wall Street Journal. The UAE is looking at ways it could help, including providing logistics and demining support. ISW put out their Russian offensive campaign assessment. If you guys want to get some updates on what's going on in the Ukraine war, I recommend going and taking a look at that. 5 minutes ago, all broadcast TV networks will carry President Trump's address to the nation tomorrow night, and you can guarantee that we'll be covering it as well, guys. I'm going to be bringing you guys that live here on Nemico Network, along with our nightly report tomorrow, so make sure to tune in for that. We'll probably be going live sometime around 8 p.m. or sorry, probably more like 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is about 01 UTC. That's about 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So about an hour before this address goes live, Trump's address goes live, we'll be live here on the channel. As we wait for his address to go live, I'll probably give my reports, and then we'll watch that address to the nation that he gives, and then kind of we'll do a little bit of an analysis on that and continue our reporting tomorrow. So I'll post the exact time that we're going live in the Discord and on the channel tomorrow, but it'll probably be, again, about 01 UTC or about... Yeah, actually, no, it would be about 0 UTC and about 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'll post the time on the Discord, and I'll probably post it up on the YouTube channel as well. Yeah, again, from Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt says, tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. President Trump will give an address to the nation to provide an important update on Iran. So this is going to be a big moment here. Is this going to be the off-ramp, or is this going to be the, the escalatory button pushed, so to speak? We'll find out tomorrow, guys. We'll find out tomorrow. It should be a pretty big day. Either way. Either way. We'll see. Or nothing could happen at all. Who knows? Who knows? I'm now going to show you guys some of the stuff I have coming in from the Situation Room. I'll show you guys some of the videos that we've gotten in over there, the people have been posting. Give me 1 second here. This post was provided by Wes via Feituk's network here. Widespread power outages hit Tehran amid Israeli Air Force strikes in the western part of the capital. You can see on screen here a good portion of that area was in a blackout. You do see some lights in other areas, though, as well. So partial power outages, but it does, in the post, says widespread. But again, you can see there's still some power on in some areas. Really quickly, I'm going to bring you guys over to Trump's Truth Social. Ignore all the ads. I hate this platform. It's riddled with ads. It's ridiculous. This is the post he put up here. I'm actually going to bring you over to our X feed to actually show you guys those clips that we got in last night. Give me 1 second here while I scroll down. Don't mind the... Did I scroll past it? I might have scrolled past it. This is a pretty interesting one we got in yesterday. Again, there was some footage here of a Dodge Ram, new model Ram 1500 truck. Again, ending up in Russian service, especially as platforms to launch Shahed attack drones at Ukraine. Also, we had, again, this footage of an American MQ-9 Reaper destroying an Iranian truck-based Shahed attack drone launcher on the move. I believe this is that same truck. Interesting stuff. But, oh, here's a picture of that EA-37B Compass Call electronic warfare aircraft, which, again, is now being fielded in the Middle East. Again, the first combat deployment of this aircraft since its conception. And then I had... Oh, okay, actually, it's down a little bit farther. I want to show you guys, because we had a couple clips from a few different angles of that blast in Isfahan. And I wanted to show you guys those real quick. So here's one of the clips here. Again, Badir Military Airport near Isfahan, central Iran. Let's take a look at this. There's no audio for this clip, unfortunately, but again, it shows a bunch of secondary explosions happening from that initial explosion. Seems almost, I think it seems like all the clips that came out. Yeah, reports of a massive airstrikes on an Iranian missile base in the city of Isfahan. American strikes on Isfahan tonight were actually visible from geostationary orbit. Seeing here, the massive explosion is seen from the weather satellite Meteostat 12. You can actually see this little blip right here at the tip of my mouse. That is that explosion. And it was picked up on NASA firms in Isfahan. And I have video of... See, this is a screenshot from Trump's post there. I'm going to actually show you guys the full video. This is a secondary clip here, I believe. Secondary angle. So you can see there, the camera pans over. There was multiple attacks happening simultaneously in this area. And I'll show you guys, this is the video that Trump posted on his Truth Social here. So we'll take a look at this video here. Again, this is reported to have been at a missile base. Again, there were some initial strikes, and then a lot of these other explosions are secondary explosions, I believe, from missiles cooking off there. But this is what was seen from space. Again, picked up on NASA firms and seen visibly from that Meteosat 12 satellite. And if I scroll out here, we may still have... the... Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it was reported that it was a 900 kilogram bunker buster bomb. that was used in this strike and I believe that this here, this blob here, is that explosion that was picked up. So again, a pretty big, pretty sizable explosion there in Isfahan. As you can see, picked up there. We'll take a look at this clip here. So you can see a lot of secondary explosions happening there. Also, this is one of the first clips like of an explosion in this war so far that Trump has posted on his Truth Social. Again, pretty massive blast that occurred there in Isfahan. One of many strikes that occurred there last night. This is a second angle. This is that second angle of that same explosion. No doubt from further off, though. Yeah, so simultaneously you had that explosion going on, but then you also had strikes over there occurring as well. This is a view from somebody's window here. Here's that Al-Salmi tanker. Again, some heavy GPS jamming has been happening there. I've actually been working to build it into our R-panel map this week. I've been working on GPS jamming detection. That's been one of the features that we've been working to get flushed out on the mapping. But again, here's that, again, geolocation, the AIS location of that tanker there. Digit posted this in the Situation Room. This is an article by TWZ talking about A-10 Warthogs, again, doing bizarrely long strafing runs in Iraq. I gave this a quick read earlier, but there's a few videos here that I wanted to show you of some of these. Yeah, I mean, pretty long. It's not the usual quick burst. It says here, we reached out to various Warthog pilots to get commentary on what we are seeing with these prolonged strafing runs. They all have said the same thing, that it definitely isn't normal or really trained for. A veteran A-10 pilot told us that, quote, it's usually 2 to 3 seconds. The A-10's gun does its job by squirting out 3,900 rounds per minute, or roughly 65 rounds per second. It can technically deplete its 1,174 round magazine drum in about 18 seconds of fire. But this is usually done in short bursts. The 9-second gun run seen in the video above would have emptied half of the drum. accuracy also degrades during longer strings of fire. Quote, correct bullet dispersion increases as the barrel heats up from sustained firing. Another A-10 pilot said the videos are indeed an outlier, and that they think doing such a long strafing run could only possibly make sense under very unique circumstances, such as dealing with a target dispersed over a large area, such as a group of troops, and with little time for subsequent strafing runs. Another former A-10 pilot said just the sound of the gun could be an intended effect to scare away potential attackers, but that isn't a usual tactic. All said, it is not what they train to do. So pretty interesting stuff there. Again, we've seen quite a few of these clips of these quite long, prolonged strafing runs there. This was posted by Wes earlier today over in the Situation Room. Again, this was a Fox News correspondent giving some statements about Israel creating a buffer zone in southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. Let's give this a listen.
Well, I want to start with some breaking news that we're just getting in right now. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz just moments ago said that the Israelis will build a buffer zone in southern Lebanon up to the Litani River, and that the 600,000 residents of southern Lebanon will not be allowed to return until the safety of residents in northern Israel is guaranteed. That is a major update by the Israelis that we're getting in just now. As for the sentiment of the Israeli people, remember, it wasn't just this war, Operation Epic Fury, that the Israelis saw the incoming rocket fire and drone attacks from Hezbollah. It's been 2.5 years of these attacks, displacing tens of thousands of Israelis along the northern border. And so the defense minister just now making clear that they will have to move forward with this operation, and there will be a price to pay. 10 Israeli soldiers have been killed in southern Lebanon alone just this month, and more likely will be killed if they bring the fight to Hezbollah closer to the Litani, where sources tell Fox News there are still hundreds of Hezbollah Radwan forces in this area.
All right, there you have it, folks. Again, IDF looking to create a buffer zone in southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. Give me 1 second here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give me 1 minute here. I'll be right back with you, and we'll continue our reporting here. I'm going to leave you with the live feed here over Tel Aviv. Give me about 60 seconds here. All right, so next up here, I'm just going to refresh our feed really quick. See if we have anything new. Doesn't look like it. So next up, we have some footage posted by Wes over on the Situation Room. This is footage showing the moment that American journalist Shelley Kittleson was kidnapped in Baghdad today. Let's take a look at this here. Again, I believe this is the first time I'm actually seeing this clip here. This is her getting kidnapped here. You see her standing here. So again, as we get updates on that situation, I'll keep you guys informed. Here's another post by Wes as well. Again, the United States Department of State says an American journalist was kidnapped in Baghdad, Iraq. One suspect tied to Kataib Hezbollah is in custody. Again, I just showed you that footage a few seconds ago of that kidnapping. We also got this post over in the Situation Room earlier. Again, this is some footage. Come on, get out of the way. There we go. This is some footage earlier outside the White House today. A growing crowd of pro-Trump demonstrators waved both American and Iranian flags in a powerful display of unity. It's a rare and inspiring sight of freedom, loving Iranians and American patriots marching together for a better future, it says here. And again, here's that footage here of those demonstrators. Also, I know we have quite a bit of space enthusiasts over in the Discord server. Some people had asked me if I was going to stream the Artemis II launch tomorrow. Again, it's the first crewed mission to fly around the moon is launching tomorrow at around somewhere between 6 and say 7 p.m. Eastern time. I may go live a little bit early, or possibly do like a separate stream prior to our stream covering the Oval Office address by President Trump tomorrow, / our nightly report. I may go live earlier with a separate stream. We might watch that. I know quite a few people had requested that. We may do a separate stream for that tomorrow. We also had this post here earlier today, also posted by Wes. Again, here's some footage here again of a building in Lebanon being struck. It was struck by the IDF, again allegedly housing Hezbollah fighters, or it was like a Hezbollah installation. And we got some pretty crazy footage of that strike, and you can see just how close. Let me zoom out a little bit. You can see just how close these people were to that blast with debris flying everywhere. Let's take a look at this footage. In my video that I have coming tomorrow for our weekly upload, our weekly video, I actually kind of go through some analysis on strikes like these that we've seen in Lebanon. Some viewers, there's been some comments made on some of the clips that I've uploaded of some of these strikes in Beirut. I won't spoil it completely for you guys. You'll have to wait for the video, but I go into some of the technical analysis both behind these strikes and the footage that we've seen of some of these strikes, and hopefully I will clear up some questions that people have had, some comments that I've seen made, not just on my videos, but on some other videos that have been posted around the web of these strikes. So keep an eye out for that video, which I'll be uploading tomorrow. I hope to get that edit finished off tonight, and it'll probably be uploaded sometime around morning to noon tomorrow over on our channel. Again, that's youtube.com/Nemco Network. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you're subscribed over there. But yeah, very close impact here. You can see debris flying all over the place. Again, that piece of rubble comes bouncing into frame and either nearly hits that guy or does hit him. Not sure. You could hear in the background somebody yelled out like they had been hit with a piece of debris there. But yeah, pretty insane footage that we got of that strike. Checking our radar again here, just to see if there's any other aircraft that are up in the skies at the moment. We have our KC-135R here returning to Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, I believe, from the looks of it. Yeah, he's coming in to line up for an approach there. We have another one on screen here. Another KC-135R transiting across Saudi Arabia. We also have a C-17 Globemaster III. It's coming out of Kuwait at the moment. And then a KC-135R. Do we still have our P-8A Poseidon? I don't see our Poseidon. That one might have gone off transponder. Another KC-135 here transiting across the Persian Gulf at the moment. Current top tracked flights this evening, again, are these Stratotankers at the moment for the most part. Moose 74, that's C-17, currently coming in at number 3. We got this one coming in at number 2. Again, that's another KC-135R. Another one there as well. And then that one there. Those are our current top 5 tracked flights at the moment. Along with this Airbus here coming at number 7. So that's about all I have for you guys this evening. Again, I'm kind of a shorter stream tonight. Again, tomorrow's going to be the big one. Again, we're going to be doing a lot of broadcasting tomorrow. We also have, again, our video being uploaded tomorrow morning, possibly around noon or earlier. If I can get the edit finished tonight, I'm going to schedule that for tomorrow morning for a upload. But again, tomorrow's going to be the big broadcast day. Again, we have a lot going on tomorrow. We got the Artemis launch, we got that address by President Trump. We have these oil markets currently on the way up at the moment again. Tomorrow's going to be the big day, the big reporting day, and it's anybody's guess as to where this could go tomorrow with these statements from Trump. Again, being broadcasted at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is about 8 Central Time. We will be live for that, broadcasting those statements given by the president, and we'll be giving the reports and everything that's happened over the course of the day as well, as usual. Possibly, as I said before, we might go live before that with a stream covering that Artemis II launch, just for the shits and giggles. But until then, guys, I will be getting the 24/7 war monitoring stream back up and running. I took it down so that we could go live for this stream tonight. And we have the cam streams as well for both Iran and Ukraine. So keep an eye out for those. I'll be putting those back up after this goes down here this evening. But big shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight for tonight's report. I know it was a little bit of a shorter one here. And we did have a delay, actually. We were supposed to go live at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Central. I had some connection issues earlier, but was able to get those cleared up. But if you haven't already, join the Discord server. There's a link to that in the description below. Again, best place to join in on the community discussion when we are not live. Also, it's a good resource for 24/7 updates on everything that's going on here in the Middle East and across the world as well. Follow us on X. It's x.com/Nemico Network. Again, where you can get 24/7 open source intelligence updates, not just on what's going on in the Middle East, but across the globe. 8 minutes ago, we actually had another post here. 5:35 Wednesday, from the perspective of Qatariyeh. At 5:35 a.m., an explosion was heard in the north and northeast of Tehran. The windows of the house shook violently. The sounds of explosions were heard twice. Heavy airstrikes reported in Iran's capital, Tehran, this morning. There's an image coming out here right now. This was just posted about 8 minutes ago via OSINT Technical. But yeah, guys, follow us on X. Join the Discord down below. Make sure you hit the like button on this stream. Keep an eye out for that video I'm uploading in the morning. You'll hopefully get a notification on YouTube. If not, I always post in the updates channel on the Discord server. That's where you can get notifications whenever we go live with new videos, if YouTube is deciding not to push notifications to you. So keep an eye out for that video. Again, come tomorrow, and join us tomorrow for our ongoing coverage of the war in the Middle East and our broadcasting, again, of that statement given by the U.S. President at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll probably be live about an hour before that. Keep an eye out for the update in the Discord or on the YouTube channel to announce when we're going live for that stream. If you'd like to support the channel, there's links to how you can do that down in the description below. Again, as I always say, the best way to support us is just hit that like button and to subscribe. I'm going to now go ahead and end off our live chat poll tonight, which reminds me, I got to get a channel going for these poll results over in the Discord server. But tonight's live chat poll was, will the U.S. attempt to take Kharg Island? 67% of you said yes, and 33% said no. I will go ahead and post that in the Discord server for anybody that's not in the YouTube live chat. But I'm gonna get like a dedicated channel going in the Discord server for polls. We also have another feature coming to the channel here soon, which I'm calling OSINT bounties, open source intelligence bounties. I'll be talking about that probably in a video here or on a future stream here soon. But it's something that I've been working up in the background to give you guys an opportunity to get more involved in what we are doing here on the channel and in the community. So keep an eye out for an announcement of that as well. We also have our open source intelligence newsletter, again, which is in the works, and it will be coming down the pipeline here shortly for you guys. So if you're a YouTube member or a subscriber, you'll be getting access to the paid version of the newsletter. And then, of course, we have another version which will be free of charge for everybody else. So keep an eye out for that. Hope to get that released here soon. But again, join us tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the big day, guys. Big day of broadcasting here. A big day of reporting for us here and many other news agencies, no doubt. But again, it's going to be a pretty eventful 12 hours tomorrow over the course of the day. And we're going to get you guys filled in on everything that happens between now and then when we go live tomorrow. Again, big shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, both on Twitch, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Suicide Jockey, good to see you. Enigmatic, good to see you. Miss Tiger Eye, thank you so much for posting those links. Highly appreciate it. Big shout out to all the mods that do what you guys do. Appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. Kipcast, good to see you. To everybody else, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Keep an eye out for the 24/7 Intel stream. It's going to go live right after this stream goes down. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Nemico Network.
Nemico.